So, you know, Fox News, especially American Fox News, well, it's basically the mouthpiece for the Republican Party. Essentially, it is nothing more than a propaganda network, and worryingly, worryingly, um, we are seeing um, a UK Fox News apparently is being touted as being started, which really is worrying, really worrying. However, we have something called Ofcom, and Ofcom is very good at regulating this type of stuff. So they're not going to be able to get away, especially with the type of stuff they do in America. I mean, you've only got to look at, we have Russia Today, of all things, is allowed to broadcast in this country, and under Ofcom, it can't even do half the stuff it does on like the Russian Today. And trust me, oh, what was it now? That's it. It's a very, if you want to see like the difference in just stories reporting on like the Russian Today versus how it's covered in like the UK. Go watch a documentary called "The World According to Putin." That, ladies and gentlemen, truly scary. However, if you really want to get an idea of how worried Fox News should be and how worried we should be about that coming over, then I definitely recommend you go look for a documentary called Outfoxed. It's very, very good and just shows how Fox News started when it got bought by Murdoch to where it became now. And it's got all sorts of insiders and how they're talking about what happened. It's a very good documentary. I definitely go and watch it. I think it's available on YouTube. I think somewhere I believe it's available on YouTube. If not, I'm sure it's around somewhere you can find it. But today we turn to Zello Street, and he's covering this exact same thing as well. So, the title of the blog is Fox News UK on its way. The news first broke after the deeply unpleasant Kevin McFirth told his followers last week he and them at Discovery, alongside a 20 million investment from Murdoch, are launching a TV news station in the new year called GB News. Andrew Neil and Nigel Farage are due to sign, taking on the quite dreadful Sky News. More people see my rear end than watch Kate Burley at breakfast. Kyle had had his information garbled, but the general thrust was actually correct. This would effectively be a UK version of Fox News Channel, or fair and balanced completely, or fair and completely unbalanced, which is a hugely profitable and effective right-wing propaganda machine for the Murdoch mafioso. So let's look at what Kyle Gerbled info looked like into reality, as revealed by Jim Woodson over at The Guardian. For starters, there are two rivals ready to launch. One group is promising a news channel, directly and different from the out-of-touch incumbents, and has already been awarded a license to broadcast by the media regulator Ofcom, under the name GB News. A rival project is being devised in the headquarters of Rupert Murdoch's British media empire by the former Fox News executive David Rose. Both are pitching for a perceived gap in the market. As for the presence of Discovery, sources with knowledge on this project suggest that GB News was in discussions with Discovery up to about and are about to tie up, with the potential for announcement in September. However, here is where we encounter a significantly sized however. The challenge both projects faced is the UK's strict broadcast rules on due impartiality, enforced by the media regulator. Let's look at how FNC tackled that one. So the Fox News modus operandi was laid out by the former host Bill O'Reilly in a discussion with Jon Stewart. It was, he posited, like the two sections of a newspaper, the straight news part and the comment section both being clearly marked in schedule. While this is true, the comment stranded from the FNC occupies the whole prime time. 2,000 hours up to 203 hours Eastern Time, plus the breakfast show and Fox and Friends. Also, that would not get off the ground. That would also not get around Ofcom. as witness of both FNC and channels like Russia Today falling foul of the rules in the past. But Watson gives a hint of how the new entrants can deal with Ofcom. They might be called doing a Farage after a Brexit party seemingly pointless rants to the European Parliament. Those rants were then parcelled up as standalone videos and promoted via a variety of right-wing and indeed far-right social media accounts, plus the press, what Watson calls the Piers Morgan's outburst on ITV's Good Morning Britain, which regularly become talking points online and drive substantial traffic to tabloid newspapers. Use the same idea, as he notes, do viciously unappealing hosts on Murdoch and Murdoch property talk radio. That is why there is a less need to stick to the rules. There will be no balance. It just won't get promoted so heavily, if at all. Moreover, if it proves once a golden opportunity, as Watson notes, Piers Morgan uses his platform at ITV to help out his old media pals. Yes, here we have a Trojan horse for a beleaguered press establishment. What we might get might not be like the Fox News channel, which might be a small mercy and to be thankful for. But this is just as seriousness as this whole media madness. So hope it's just left out there. And that is a really worrying scenario. We have seen how influential things like, Fox News are. And you only got to see just how influential LBC became in such a short period of time. It started off as London's leading conversation, and now it's leading Britain's conversation. And of course, its rival Talk Radio, which is predominantly right-wing talking points. I mean, I have problems listening to who's the guy on first. I can't remember his name, but he's infuriating. I can't listen to him in the morning, but I can't remember his name. But he's absolutely infuriating because he's just like, and in a way, I don't listen to it because it gets me really angry and annoyed. It's completely the wrong way to start a good day, to be honest. But with hope and with Ofcom there to keep these guys hopefully balanced, it will be somewhat of a saving grace. However, all they need is to do as what Piers Morgan does, go off on a rant, and then if he gets in trouble with Ofcom, it just goes, oh, I was just espousing my own personal view, and Ofcom does give him a slap on the wrist, and occasionally they'll get a fine, but it's nothing to write home about, because, like I say, the social media presence that it spawns just from that one clip was entirely worth it. So at the end of the day, them doing these types of properties, I mean, we've said it before, in this country, it's shocking that especially the right wing complain about not having a voice in this country. The only really leftist outlets at all left really is The Guardian. The Observer, still there. Just trying to think what's left wing now. The New Statesman. Although you could argue that's more centrist. LBC, but again, only certain hosts really are sort of, on the left. James O'Brien be the one that comes to mind for that. But there aren't really that many leftist news organisations left in the UK, which is an absolute crying shame, because if you go back in time, there were hundreds of leftist press machines and newspapers and organisations that would report, that give that leftist view and report on the news, that way. It's not the case anymore now. And, the right complain, we don't have a voice, and yet they've got more of a voice than probably they ever had done in previous history. But there you go. So anyway, thank you for watching the video. Please do like and share this video. It helps out the channel massively. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We talk about British politics and, of course, Brexit as well, because you can't cover British politics without covering Brexit. But if you'd like to help out the channel in another way, there are links down below to my Patreon page as well as a one-off donation link. So with that, thanks for watching and we'll see you all next time.